Bass Ontario is a tournament series. It's an actual series of one-day live release bass fishing events that's held throughout Ontario. It's the largest bass fishing tournament in Ontario, and we have about 300 competitors that team up together that make 150 teams that come out, fish for a day, and compile a 5-fish limit to win cash and prizes.
What kind of prizes are we talking about here?
Today, the total purse is about $16,000 plus an additional $4,000 or $5,000 in prizes. This is a qualifying event. Our final event this year is worth close to $100,000 just to win it.
Okay, so do the winners from here go on to another one, or do they just keep? Doesn't matter if you win or not, you just keep going.
They compile weight and pounds, and the pounds can be converted into, say, 1 point per pound. And the top 40 competitors at the end of the season, with the top 40 pounds or poundage of weight, right, they qualify for the final. And they go into the final. They don't fish as teams anymore. They fish as individuals. And the final is a prestigious event where it's an individual accomplishment. The king or the best fisherman of the year is what we could term it as.
Where do some of the competitors come from? Are they all local people, or do they come from all over Ontario?
We have a very large participation group coming out of the Lindsay area. Secondly, the Peterborough and Oshawa, and quite a sprinkling from southwestern Ontario, and another handful of people that come all the way from Kirkland Lake just to fish for one day in our tournaments.
Okay, next question. Why bass? Why a bass tournament?
Okay, bass tournaments have come a long way in the United States in past years, and there's quite a demand in Ontario for competitors to get involved in this type of thing. The whole idea to a bass tournament is it is a promotion, and our reason for coming here is to tell local people and make them aware about live release and selective harvest. And what I mean by selective harvest is simply, if you catch a 5-pound bass, let it go, because that's a bass that'll make more 5-pound bass. If you want to have a good feed of bass, keep the little 12-inch guys and have a good feed of them, and let the big ones go to make more big ones.
Okay, you mentioned live release. You want to explain what goes on there?
All these boats that are in our tournaments are equipped with something called a live well, and it's simply a tub with doors. It's equipped right in a bass boat. It has air coming into it, and it also has water being recirculated, and the bass live in there all day until they come into here. They're put in bags, they're weighed, and then they're put back into a high-tech release boat with certain chemicals in that to make sure that their slime coat's replaced. We have 3 biologists on duty today that ensure their safety, and we actually take those fish and redistribute them all back through the lake again. We don't throw them off the dock, we put them in this boat, and we take them out in the lake and put them back in little bass homes again.
You mentioned the slime coating. What happens if you touch it with your hands and that comes off?
When you handle a fish and you take the slime coat off of it, that's one of his primary defenses against parasites and any intrusions he might have in his environment. By handling it with your hands, you take some of that slime coat off, and it's necessary for the biologists to re-enhance that slime coat before they release the fish to ensure that he doesn't get sick when they let him go.
How many more tournaments are you having this year?
We have 4 more qualifying events and our final in Halliburton Village, which is August 24th and 25th.
Where are the rest of the tournaments going to be?
We have 2 in Port Perry, one on July 27th and one on August 11th, and 2 in Beardley, Ontario, on beautiful Rice Lake. And those 2 are on July 28th, which is a Sunday, and August 10th, which is a Saturday.
Bait? No. In tournaments such as this, live bait is totally prohibited.
Is that right?
They can have artificial rubber bait, plastic bait, hard body baits. The only type of parrot bait that is permitted is a pork rind that's in different shapes, such as lizards, frogs, crawfish, and such. Something that'll give it an action, and when the fish inhale it, it gives it a bit of a natural feel when he actually bites.
Oh yeah,
So
okay.
it just gives that little added second that the fish is going to add on. When he mouths it, it's going to feel natural until he realizes not, and then it's too late.
Yeah. Some of these fellows off the point of that little island there.
Probably, I would say those guys, when we passed by, I thought they were probably casting spinnerbaits. Points are sometimes a very good area where it's two points of land come together, and it's an area of protection that fish can sometimes roam around in search of food. So casting along those points sometimes were two ways that the land meet together underwater. It's an area of congregation of fish. Snivels are on the same type of pattern, weed line fishing with more likely plastic worms.
Do bass like the weeds, or they?
Well,
just
it's not
like calm water.
It's not. No, it's not necessarily that they like the weeds. It's of course weeds attract microorganisms, which attract bait fish, which attract predator fish, and it's also an area that a bass can hide in for attack, for feed purposes, also for protection from the sun. Yeah, we do. We have each boat in this tournament is required to have a live well because we are primarily interested in the quality of fish and restocking our fish, getting back in the lake without having any injuries or as few injuries as possible. We keep them in the live well with circulating water, so that the water retains lots of oxygen, so that we're not injuring the fish or causing to die from a lack of oxygen.
So it's overcast today. So is that better for us?
Overcast is good. You get certain individuals that have different patterns. Of course, bright sunlight, mid-afternoon, they're going to be probably under banks, under logs, hiding from the bright sunlight. Smallmouths are usually tends to be on more open water and with structure, so that they have shallow and deep at the same time. So all they have to do is move very, very small distance, and they have protection of shade from actual deeper water. So less light penetration.
Yep. Rain any good for? Summer's getting wet. It's kind of miserable. Is it?
Again, of course, your pattern changes with the wind, with the sun, with the rain. Obviously, they didn't like what was going on here. That's one thing you find with smallmouth, in a lot of occasions, is that you do an area that you think is holding fish, and you stay there for a certain amount of time, make a few casts. If you don't come up with anything, then you may as well move, because 9 chances out of 10 there's nothing going on. Usually they've moved on. That's the problem with smallmouth. You find them today, you got a nice school today, tomorrow they've gone, they've moved somewhere.
So do fish finders help, or do you allow them in the tournament?
Definitely. The reason I like fish finders, definitely not finding fish, is I want bottom structure, so I know my water depths, I know drop-offs and flats, I know depends on what type of fishing I'm going to be doing. On a day like today, which is very dull, it's difficult to actually see your weed line. So if you have your fish finder turn on, you do a small bit of cruising, and you certainly go and you find your weed line, and then you can actually mark it or at least you know where that you're on your weed line.
It's permissible in a tournament to use a...
Definitely, it's an aid, but it doesn't catch fish for you.
Look at the size of this bass. Is that a largemouth bass or what?
Bass Ontario's first bass tournament. With me is Scott Gibb, the biologist looking after the live release program. You're the live release supervisor?
Yes.
Do you want to tell us about the live release program then?
Okay. Well, it's supported by a lot of different companies at the tournament, as you've seen earlier on. What we try to do is there's a 5-fish limit per boat, and these anglers go out, they catch the fish early in the morning, then they bring the fish back into us. And my job and the crew that we have here is to, after they're weighed in, is to make sure that the fish that are okay, get back out in the water live safely. It's where we get the term live release tournament.
Why do we want them live release? What's the whole purpose behind it?
Well, when you have 141 teams today, and if they went out and took their legal limit per person of 6 fish each, which is 12 fish, 141 teams that took 12 fish each and kept them. It's over, thousands of fish that, they take them home like the average angler. Our success ratio for our release here today, as I said, each team takes 5 fish. Each team, not each person. We have 140 teams. That means, approximately 600 fish will be caught. And out of that, our losses in the past have been, 5 to 6 fish, depending on conditions. So in essence, what we do is we take the live release program and put it down to, in essence, one man's catch a day that would go out in a boat, and that's where you get the term live release.
Each boat is specially designed to hold live fish, and then they bring them here. How do they transfer them from their boats into the weigh scales and the tanks and that kind of stuff?
Okay. What they do is we have special bags that they're reinforced, plastic. They're very heavy because of the spines in the fish. And what they do is when they go out at 3 o'clock, the first wave comes in, and at 3:30 the second wave. And what we do is we give them a couple of these plastic bags, depending on the number and the size of the fish. They come into the dock. The dock supervisor tells them, okay, now you can put your fish in the bag with water. So they're always kept in a liquid substance, the water. In that water, along with the tanks, is a substance called catch and release. What that does is it's a green type that we put in the water in the tanks. It decreases the chlorine in the tanks, and it increases the slime coating on the fish and decreases their metabolism. So it makes it easier for us to handle in the water and get them back in the water alive.
Okay, and then afterwards, I understand there's a special boat that you'll go back out.
Yeah. We have a special boat. We use a couple of 100-gallon tanks with aeration system devised, by the people that work for the tournaments and myself. And what we do is we take these fish from the stage after they've been weighed in. We take them immediately, and this is the name of the game, is immediately back into the watered tanks with these treated tanks. And the aeration system, it's just like they have oxygen constantly, so that they're not being put under stress, but not like the average angler who would take them and put them on a stringer. We try to keep them in their natural environment so they can be released as healthy as possible back into their, the waters.
What happens if an angler can't get a hook out of a fish? What happens to the hook?
Well, that's up to the angler normally, but what the common thing is if a fish is what they call gut hooked or down inside the gut, we tell the angler to cut the hook off. And then when they bring it in, if the fish needs attention, we have special people that are trained to look after fish that are in the need. We do, some situations where a fish is a little better off, maybe he was a little stressed out more than the others, and we bring them in, give them a little bit of special attention, try to get them as best as possible back towards the way they were. But in a fish, if you do cut off the hook and it is inside, the acid in a fish will dissolve the hook, and it can be released live into the water with a little stress, but still alive.
Do other tournaments, I don't know, trout tournaments, so on, have biologists do the same thing?
Well, it's getting more and more often now. We're getting to be involved in the the tournaments, but it's trout are a little harder to handle type fish. They're not as hardy as the bass, largemouth and smallmouth bass that are going to be caught at this tournament. They're very hardy. They're not easy to handle. They all have their limits, but the trout, the muskies, and other fish, they're very hard to handle, and they don't take the stress as well as the bass.
Peter, the emergian. Kids stay away from the stage of the courts. Watch the courts there. If you knock something over. It's Peter's birthday today. We want to give him some good news. As he got the weight beat, 14. Hold up your fish. His official weight is 14.24, which should put him up into the top 4. Happy birthday, Peter. Hold up that fish. That's a birthday bass. If it's over 521, it's an $800 bass. Hey, you had a good tournament. We got our first fish. So your fish bit late today, but you hung in there. And you got a 5.38, so you're leading for big fish right now. $800 for that, and you're in the top 4, I think, right now, Peter. Jim Partner and Ron Beacock, let's have a big round of applause. Last year's Balsam Lake champions. I'm breathless. You called a 4-pound fish. They threw a 4-pound fish back. It wasn't big enough to make in with these ones. I want each of you to take your 2 best fish out of there and hold them up. And we'll weigh your big fish. We have a new leader with 20.12 pounds. Jim Partner and Ron Beacock from Orono, Ontario. And there are some snazzy looking fish. Yes, indeed, folks. 20.12 pounds. Is anybody going to beat that? I think we've only got 2 boats left to go. 20.12 pounds is a new record for Bass Ontario weigh-in. It's a 5-fish limit, 20 pounds. These fish are averaging 4 pounds. Most people consider all of these fish in their limit trophies. Didn't make big fish, but 20.12 pounds. And I guess if you haven't heard already, we're giving away, even though we don't have a full field, we're giving away $5,000 anyway. You feel a little shaky right now?
Yeah, I like it.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
20.12 to win.
Glenn Honeyball.
Glenn and Rob Honeyball. Can they beat 20 pounds? Have you got a big fish in there? You've got a big fish in there? Don't let them fall. Grab that big fish and hold them up. This could be big fish of the tournament. Look at the size of this bass. Is that a largemouth bass or what? Does it beat the 5.38 is our leader. 5.60. $800, guys. We have any more boats to weigh in? You just won $800. And Jim, Partner, and Ron Beacock, you just won $5,000. Look at the size of that fish. Unbelievable. Marshall from Kraft Foods and Rick Baker with 11.65 pounds. 20th place, Team 63. 2 more great guys. Just the great guys you want to meet. Tom, congratulations. Right there in cup contention. Still trying to get a tan. This sun's never going to come out. Okay, 19th place, Mark Bogue and Gary Dowell with 11.90 pounds, team number 78. Got some prizes here for you. Good tournament. It's not bad when you can place in the top 20 of 137 teams, is it?
Congratulations.
Sponsored by Labatt's Blues Slow Pitch and Berkeley Lightning Rods. Okay, next up on the list, 18th place, Steve Serwinski and Kevin Serwinski with 12.03 pounds, team number 130. These guys work really, really hard to catch their fish. And when you look at the difference between 12, the place that these guys came in and the place to the money, it's only a matter of ounces. So his partner's down there working on the boat, but hey, nice going, guys. Good effort. Here's a name that's not strange to the Bass Ontario Tournament Trail. Some of our younger competitors, 17th place with 12.22 pounds, team number 116, Jason Greentree and Glenn Roy. Come on up here. I'd like to make a point of letting everybody know that Jason comes out and fishes all our tournaments. He doesn't have a big fancy bass boat. He fishes out of aluminum. He fishes hard, and he always walks away with a prize. Nice going, Jason. Deserves a big round of applause. He works real hard out there. Walter, where's Walter? Walter Krishnova and Chris Carr from JD Tackle, best little lure house in Port Perry. There he is. Got some prizes for you. Nice going, guys. Good effort. We'll see you in the Shimano Cup this year. Michael Webb and Mark Kessler in 15th place. First guys to get some money out of us today. Mike drives a big 21-foot bass boat, so this might pay for his gas today. Congratulations, Mike. Congratulations, guys. Henry Gatt and Michael Gatt with, or I'm sorry, 14th, yeah. We're getting a little further ahead of ourselves here. Charlie Ray and Colleen Ray had a great bag of fish, if you remember. Charlie's caught many record bass and all kinds of different fish in the Molson's fishing competitions. He makes his own lures. Anything you want to say to everybody today? Hello?
Yeah, it was a little rough today. It's time to find some new spots, though. This is a lake I should have done better in, but some of the spots have dried up.
And how about you, Colleen?
Nothing to say.
Nothing to say? Husband and wife team, this is what we like to see at Bass Ontario. Give them a big round of applause. A family that fishes or stays together. Our number one fisherman from last year, team of the year from last year, E.B. Smiley and Chuck Schrader from the United States of America. They know how to catch bass down there. We got a check here to get them to the next tournament location anyway, and a couple of trophies to boot. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations, Chuck. Smiley's one goal this year is to win Lake Scugog. He's cursed on that lake, so come up and root for him up there on the 27th. Glenn Honeyball in second place with Robert Honeyball. I've got to get another trophy, and we got a big check here for you guys. An amazing weight, a weight that would normally win a tournament. Oh, and to boot, we've got two checks for these guys. 18.15 pounds would have won the tournament last year. Didn't win it this year, but you caught big fish too. So we're going to give you $2,300 and two trophies, if that's okay with you guys. Excellent. Fantastic tournament. It takes a very knowledgeable fishing team to be able to go out and catch bass like that. We'll see you next tournament, guys. Nice going. Last but not least, the only team to win two successive tournaments on the same lake, the same event, Balsam Lake Open. Jim Partner and Ron Beacock. $5,000 and two trophies too. What can I say? These guys know Balsam Lake like nobody else. We've never weighed in 20.12 pounds. That's a record weight for Bass Ontario. Who gets the money? It's made out to Jim. We'll give it to Jim, but we're sure you'll square each other out. That's great. Fantastic. Big round of applause. 2 years in a row, Balsam Lake champions. $5,000, 2 trophies. We'll see you at Coboconk. Let somebody else win that one, okay, guys? No problem. Take care. Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, last year was Ron's very first bass tournament.
I'm not going to give you Ross.
And he said at that one, he said, Jim, I feel lucky. He really came through today, and when he caught that 5th fish, he said, Jim, I feel lucky. And he was.
All right, guys, we'll see you at the next tournament. That's what you call true competitors. Pound for pound, the toughest fighting bass in all of the world. If that little fish could grow to 30 pounds, you wouldn't be able to land him, and I could guarantee you that. How much does he weigh? They don't have the chassis of a largemouth, so they do have a tendency to weigh a little bit less, but they...
because we're primarily interested in the quality of fish and restocking our fish, getting back in the lake without having any injuries or as few injuries as possible. We keep them in the live well with circulating water so that water...
Look at the size of this bass. Is that a largemouth bass or what?